Harry's wife. I'm a celebrity's answer to the Tudors. An intriguing title, I'm sure you will agree. For those that you aren't aware, there are reality programs called I'm a Celebrity where celebrities are chucked into the jungle, have to undergo certain trials as voted for by the watching public until people are eliminated one by one, until there is a king or queen of the jungle that is left. I've seen a little bit of the programme. It's not to my liking. I generally abhor reality television, but nevertheless, as a strange process of osmosis, one tends to know about these things. It is interesting that with Harry and Harry's wife, that when it comes to understanding the dynamic and what Harry's wife is, so many people miss the fact that she is a narcissist. There are those that have recognised it amongst the mainstream media. There are probably more that recognise it but don't feel that they can use the word. There are, of course, plenty amongst social media who understand that is the case, ostensibly, as a consequence of my ahead-of-the-curve analysis of her many years ago. Petronella Wyatt writes in The Telegraph, "In Harry and Harry's wife, we have the reality show royals we deserve." Why does she write this? What does she see in relation to Harry and Harry's wife? She states, "Sometimes I think we shouldn't complain about Harry and Harry's wife when we have created them. Every person is to some extent the reflection of their age and its prisoner to boot." An interesting opening. The only people that created Harry's wife were her mother and father, a pair of narcissists that passed on the genetic predisposition to her and then created lack of control environments in different ways which forged what she became. However, I think what Wyatt is driving at is that Harry's wife is more a reflection of the way of the world. The world did not make her this way, but she shows very much certain aspects of it. Petronella Wyatt continues, "To that extent, we always get a royal we deserve, from the Roman Emperor Caligula and Henry VIII to the Duke and Duchess of Monte Shitshow. We have become such artificial constructs that the Duke and Duchess of Monte Cristo would be a more apposite title for them. But it's society in it. Look back at Rome. Degenerate Tinnery created monsters like Caligula and Nero. They acted as they did because they were allowed to, or actually more accurately, they acted as they did because their rampant narcissism was not restrained. Though eventually even the weak and whining Romans of the time got fed up and had them assassinated equally cruelly. The head of Caligula's 2-year-old daughter, Julia, was shattered against a wall by her father's murderers. But then, it is only in the 20th century that we have become sentimental about children. In England, the 15th and 16th centuries were particularly bloody ages, with short life expectancy and a religious acceptance of death. Not everyone cut the heads off their wives, though they probably would have liked to. However, it was only when Henry VIII turned his attention to the blameless 67-year-old Countess of Salisbury, a Plantagenet cousin, and decided to execute her too, that people demurred. Things improved in the 18th century, and most aristocrats in British public life began to act with a sense of public duty. The bloody king and philanthropic duke has now departed, but has been replaced by the reality star, the social media influencer, and the plutocrat. There is only one real form of human striving that is understood by our world, and that is the striving for money and celebrity. Well, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I think, however, it's accurate to say that one form of human striving understood by the masses. You can call the Sussexes grifters, as one Spotify executive did a few days ago, but how else did we expect them to end up? Well, again, it isn't a case of them ending up that way, but rather Harry's wife has always behaved this way. Just look at her track record with regard to the way that she's treated her father, her friends, Trevor Engelson, Corviciello, the chef, other people along the way. Sucked in, used, cast to one side, the behaviour of a narcissist. She's always grifted her way through life. This week, there were reports that they were signing a contract with Dior, which would have seen Harry's wife become its face. A source for Dior has denied this. But the Sussex's devotion to the fashion house is unquestioned. Harry's wife has draped herself in Dior couture and tottered out in its shoes, while the lesser Harry has been spotted in its shirts and suits. This is beneficial for all concerned. Social media and our preoccupation with fame without achievement has made Harry's wife a sort of institution to the young of America and elsewhere, like the Statue of Liberty. Like that monument, she is a bit overdone, and is suspected to have undergone minor renovation. Doubtless her admirers would say that age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety, but she is approaching early middle age. Of course, custom has bashed her about a bit, yet the true puzzle is why this professional uplifter wears Dior at all. The brand has been pilloried for being one of the last fashion houses to use real fur. As a conservationist and animal lover, surely Harry's wife would recoil in horror from associating her delicate sensibilities with such iniquity. Well, of course, you all know the answer to that is that Harry's wife is a hypocrite and a contrarian because of her narcissism. The brand is one that she will wear because it sounds good. And with everything about her, she's superficial. She doesn't look into the background of anything that she becomes involved in. It's easy to get lost in the great Sussex labyrinth, Wyatt continues, but it's really quite simple. We inhabit a plutocracy, and in a democratic state, the plutocracy inevitably takes the place of the missing aristocracy. It is even mistaken for it, when it is something quite different. It lacks the essential characteristics of a true aristocracy: taste, culture, tradition, self-sacrifice, courage and honesty. Harry's wife and Harry are a mirror to our collective faces and our entertainment. You see them on reality television, in the Tudors sex and sword fest, and in soap operas about how royals are now imagined to be foolish, overdressed, and physical approximations of Hollywood stars, above all gripped by self-obsession. Like most people in 21st century democracies, Harry and Harry's wife stand under no obligation to country or to state. They are transient and lack a goal, and yet they are relatable to so many young people because their aspirations are essentially the same. Our youngsters no longer dream of glory, or even service, in the way their grandparents did, but of a heaven paved with gold and precious stones and the latest Lady Dior mini bag in mauve leather and beige rattan. What this age really needs is a sense of liberty. We produce occasional libertarians, just as tyrannies produce regicides, but we assassinate them publicly and then cancel their thoughts. Our libido for the ugly stares back at us in the form of our politicians, our heroes, our gods, and in Harry and Harry's wife, who are I'm a Celebrity's answer to the Tudors. An interesting article, but it essentially misses the point as to what Harry's wife is. She is not a product of her times. She is a product of her narcissism. And simply because narcissism has risen and becomes more prevalent, both in terms of narcissists, but narcissistic behaviour amongst non-narcissists, commentators such as Petronella Wyatt see Harry's wife as a product of that particular environment, when she actually isn't. The environment where narcissistic traits are on display more often amongst normal people, amongst narcissistic people who are not narcissists, and even amongst empathic people, creates an environment where ultimately more narcissists are created, but it's an environment where narcissists are more readily able to fit in and move unseen, save by those of us who have the expertise to identify them. This backdrop of a reduced concept of service, empathy fatigue, a reliance upon the immediate, streaming and binge-watching programs now, fast food, fast fashion, getting everything you need delivered tomorrow rather than having to wait, easy credit that used to exist. All of those things are cultivated a give it to me now. The rise and dominance of social media, which allows a nobody to tell everybody what they're doing, even though what they have to state is of no actual significance, again cultivates this narcissistic background into which someone like Harry's wife slots and fits in so readily and utilises to her advantage. So Wyatt has missed the point somewhat, despite it being an interesting article. But what are the observations that come below the line? Surprise Me states they are both old enough to have teenage children, if not children in their early 20s. The couple are not young, they are already middle-aged. The people they want to relate to are the people who look at the couple and at best see aunts and uncles and at worst see parents. As a couple, they continue to make poor choices, and only time will tell if the man in question ever manages to escape. Neither of them are interesting or exciting enough to be described as Tudors. Hear, hear to that. Many describe them as dull. Old man, Harry and Harry's wife do not lack a goal. Their goal is clear to see. Money, 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 and the adoration of the work masses. Julia Petheron. The Tudors were serious kings and queens. Henry VII and Henry VIII and Elizabeth were great monarchs that laid the foundation of Great Britain. Harry and Harry's wife are no such things. They lived their lives with a mirror in front of their noses. Banana Bus. There is only one real form of human striving that is understood by our world, and that is the striving for money and celebrity, quotes Banana Bus. Speak for yourself, you airhead. Nan Ominous. Sorry, sister, this article is utter nonsense. Brass Monkey. They are not and never have been relatable to me. I should not care a jot if both Harry and Harry's wife left the planet tomorrow. I tolerate royalty because it seems the majority wanted. Mind you, I think we need a break from them, as they seem to be in our faces every week. V. Jones. Total self-indulgent rubbish. Modern-day Tudors, my arse. Scott Free. Does any of that mean anything? They're a pair of whinging, lying chancers. I doubt many youngsters identify with them at all. Peter Thrower. The only words worth remembering in this article are that there has become a preoccupation for fame without achievement, especially amongst the current generation. The odiously loathsome Missy demonstrates this in ample measure. Harry's wife has the skill to act and seems to accomplish that on a daily basis. Her husband, however, if we discount morbidly self-pitying public recollections about his life, can juggle. With Harry, it seems, it's all just balls. Sean Smith. No, we don't deserve this. Harry and Harry's wife, like so many celebrities, are created by the media. The average Joe could not give a fig about them, except when they are continually thrust down our throats. Then our thoughts are, what a pair of arseholes. Peter French. Oh, please, Petronella, what a rambling, incoherent article. Harry and Harry's wife created the world in which they live, and the press responded. Don't blame the British public for their hypocrisy, claiming they wanted privacy, then with all guns blazing, they seek exposure for their ambition. Utter tosh. It would appear, therefore, that very few people agree with the article, and its premise is indeed skewed, as I explained. Harry's wife is not a product of the environment. She is a product of her mother and father and the lack of control environment, which created a narcissist. And all that means is that today's environment is one that she fits into better. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.